Hi, this is Asa, and welcome to my audio experience. Lifestyle is the medicine. So the choices that we make every single day, they can and will determine the kind of health you're going to have. So glad you're with us. You're listening to the Asa Rx Experience. Go to asarx.com. Every single day, no matter what you're struggling with, no matter what you deal with, no matter what you have going on in your life, we want to help you to become the best version of you. Why? Because you deserve it. Why? Because you are a gift. Did you know that? Did you know that there's no other person on the planet like you? I always say it's funny because there's three things you got to think about. Number one is that there's no one that has the same fingerprint as you. No one. Isn't that amazing? I mean, think about that. So no other person on the planet has the same thumbprint, fingerprint, whatever, as you do. In the retina of your eye, no one else has the same retina in their eye as you. In their hair, and if I had hair, your hair is powerful, but because there's no other hair follicle ever like yours. Pretty amazing. So you're special, and we want to help you become that better version of you here on the show. Just give us a call, 888-283-7272. Let's jump in and talk about some health. All right, sweetened drinks, they're saying may cause heart damage. It's a study that was done at the T.H. Chan School of Public Health in Boston. But they're talking about the sugar-sweetened beverages, okay? So things like stevia, which is a natural sweetener, are not what they're talking about here. They're talking like high fructose corn syrup, regular sugar, which a little bit of regular sugar is, every now and then. It's not that big of a deal. It's really not. But they're saying here, people that are doing this day in and day out, and it's part of their normal routine. But consuming 1 to 2 servings a day of sugar-sweetened beverages has been linked to a 35% greater risk of heart attack or fatal heart disease. Now, there was a 16% increased risk of stroke and as much as 26% increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes. So, and we know that. I mean, you drink more sugar, sugary drinks. Sugary drinks are like one of the number one things you should get rid of if you have diabetes or have a predisposition for diabetes. Like, it's just one of the most wasted calories of taking in are those sugary drinks. And that's like sodas and even those fruit juices that are, they say it's fruit juice, but if you look on it, it's like 10% juice and the rest of it's a bunch of sugar. Yeah, those are the ones you want to stay away from, okay? But there was a study that was published in the Journal of American College of Cardiology, and it was a part of a new focus on excess sugar as a risk for heart disease. Pretty interesting. It was at the Joe DiMaggio's Children's Hospital in Hollywood, Florida. But they found that the sugar-sweetened beverages account for about 1/2 of the added sugars in the U.S. diet. And so one can of regular soda, by the way, has 35 grams of sugar roughly, which is equal to 9 teaspoons. 9 teaspoons, holy cow. So manufacturers usually either use the table sugar or the high fructose corn syrup as the main ingredient, but the fructose and the glucose is used as well, so you can easily see those in them too. So I would look into eliminating sugary drinks, just as my thought to you, okay? Because, obviously, it doesn't help anything. It doesn't help. I'd eliminate them from your diet completely, maybe one a week if you're just really hooked on them. But there's so many good alternatives. But they're saying that when you do just 1 a day or 2 a day, that it messes everything up metabolically in the body. It really impacts your cholesterol levels. It will lower your HDL, that's the good cholesterol, and it raises the LDL, which is the bad cholesterol. So it really impacts those in a negative way. And there's a thing called triglycerides. You've probably seen that if you've ever had some blood work done. So the triglycerides will get elevated when you do a lot of sugar. Now, triglycerides has to do, it's almost like when triglycerides are up, it's almost like fats that are all sticky, and they can get real sticky inside of the vessels. And that's why that can be so dangerous when the triglycerides get up. It's kind of like a gunk or a glue type. If you just kind of try to picture it in your head, that's what it's like. But these are all easy to get rid of. Just switch over to water. You can do lemon water. You can add stevia to lemon water, and it tastes like lemonade. One of my favorites, because I like sodas. I've always liked them as a kid and all that, but I know they're not good for us because of all the junk that's in them. So there's a company, a soda company, that makes a really good soda called Zevia. And as a matter of fact, they've done things with us here on the show. I met the CEO, great guy. I'm a big believer in their their drinks because it's an amazing alternative. They're clear. They don't use any colorings. And, it just has stevia for a sweetener. It's carbonated water and some natural flavorings. They do a really good job as making that alternative. They have all the different flavors and different kinds. So you can check them out at Zevia, Zevia.com. It's a really good product. But there's good alternatives, and I make my own. So when I'm at a restaurant, people always ask, what do you drink at a restaurant? So at a restaurant, I usually get seltzer water. That's what I order. I will order a lemon, like a whole lemon or a whole lime, and they look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, no, don't cut it. And they'll bring me a whole lemon or a whole lime, and I'll just cut it up, squeeze it in the water itself. And then usually most restaurants now carry stevia in the restaurant, and I'll take a packet of that, put it in there, mix it up, and it tastes like a sparkling lemonade. It tastes really good. It's one of my favorite drinks, actually. So I drink that a lot. But again, it's about being smart about what you're putting in your body, making good choices, and eating the right kind of foods, obviously. But something like this where the sugary drinks, and they're talking about diabetes, I mean, here's the deal. Sugary drinks will affect everything. Brain chemistry, heart disease. It impacts arthritis. It impacts inflammation in the body, the whole deal. They're just not good, and it's a waste of calories for the body. It's just not worth it. And I know it tastes good. I get that. But it's not something that you need to be doing all the time. That's something you should work on regardless if you're just trying to avoid getting some kind of disease or health challenge, okay? 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. 7272. We're so glad you're with us. Join us online, asarx.com. If you don't have a provider in your area that believes the same way we do, all this nutrition and lifestyle-based care, our providers are always available to help you, encourage you, take you to the next level with your health and with your life. All right, let's go to the phones and talk to... Actually, Terry, I'm going to hold you for just a minute, and I'm going to jump on an email. So let's go to this. Let's go to Samantha in Missouri. And Samantha wants to know about what you can do for depression. Well, it just depends, Samantha, when you're talking about depression, about kind of what direction it is. I mean, is it anxiety with depression, or is it just straight depression? Do you feel like you can't get out of bed? See, there's all these different levels of depression, but I will give you some basics. Naturally, there's a lot you can do for depression, and you can naturally do some things with foods. So fatty acid levels are really important. You got to look at that. And that's things like salmon, and you can do any kind of fish, really. So your big fish are salmon, tuna, mackerel, and sardines. I know the sardines thing's not too exciting, but the fish is really good for supporting good brain chemistry. Now, 5-hydroxytryptophan is really good because the main chemical, brain chemical, we call it a neurotransmitter, big fancy word, but the main neurochemical or neurotransmitter is called serotonin, and that's what most of the drugs raise up because it typically is deficient in a person with depression. So one of the things you got to look at is what can naturally raise serotonin levels if you don't want to do the medication route. And 5-hydroxytryptophan is really good. Most proteins raise serotonin, so like chicken, fish, beef, eggs, even pea protein is a good complete protein, and it raises serotonin levels and makes it a really good way to bring those levels up and avoid having to use medications. Again, it's not a substitute, but if you're working with your doctor, I would get somebody that really knows their nutrition and work with you on that as well. We'll be right back.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
To find out more, connect with On Call Radio online at InShapeNetwork.com.
Welcome back to the show, 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. So glad you're with us. Check us out on the web. Go to asarx.com. If you haven't jumped in our social media, there you can find us. Everything's at Asa Rx TV, and you can join everything that we're doing. If you haven't been a part of Healthy University, jump in. I really want you to look into our community. You'll find that support, just people that are positive, uplifting, they believe the same way we do. Like literally, you can jump in. If you struggle one day, you're having a hard time one day, everybody in the group will lift you up. And that's what I love about it. So check out at Asa Rx, the Facebook page, you can check out Healthy University. It's one of our group pages there. And we'd love to have you part of that in every way. I'm so glad you're with us. Now, make sure you give us a call here on the show. And if you want me to answer something in private, you can do that as well. Just let the producer know, 888-283-7272. All right, let's get on the phones. Talk to Terry. Hi, Terry.
I have an issue where I have elevated PSAs, and they've gone up higher than what they like in the last 3 years. Now they want to do the biopsy, and I'm not too keen about having them poke 12 holes up through the rectum into the prostate looking for something. And I was wondering what other alternatives. There's heard something about the MRI type where they can pinpoint it if there is something there, and or what I can do to get my prostate swelling down a little bit. I don't have any symptoms one way or the other. I'm just kind of curious what I can do. I don't want to have to go through any of this unnecessary stuff if I don't have to.
Okay, so with the prostate, you got to think about a couple of things. All right, this is really important because the prostate itself is not just face value swelling and you're getting older, and so it's a prostate issue. You have to look at it as, okay, what is the prostate not getting? Usually when a gland swells or it gets into that kind of situation, we automatically think medicine. Let's just give the medicine, that'll help it, fix it, whatever. But the reality is when the prostate swells, it typically, and this is a naturopathic type thought, so this is not standard medical thought, but it really is the body's gland, whatever that is, where it needs something. And that's what you have to look at. You have to realize, okay, what is the body not getting that it needs? So with the prostate, a lot of times in men, as we age, our testosterone levels drop. We go through a thing called andropause. And our testosterone levels drop. And then also in that process, with our hormones dropping, your progesterone drops. And for men, we never talk about progesterone like it's this woman hormone, female hormone. And when you're looking at estrogen, progesterone in men, typically testosterone and progesterone will drop, and then estrogen, which is the dominant female hormone, will elevate. And that causes all kinds of things. It causes man boobs, as we call them, which is gynecomastia. You know, this is kind of the slang term for them, but it's where men grow breasts. There's small little breast tissue that grow in men's chest. And that happens due to a couple things, but a lot of it happens when the testosterone and the progesterone drop, estrogen goes up, and it causes that. And that's not good. And the reason I'm telling you that is because with the prostate, the factors that cause that cause hair loss and also cause the prostate to swell. It's kind of the same mechanism. So what do? One thing is, I always say an avocado a day keeps prostate issues away, and it just does. The avocado itself has what's called beta-cytosterol in it. And the beta-cytosterol is really, really good at cutting down the swelling of the prostate. Now, there's other herbs like saw palmetto that are really good, but that beta-cytosterol that naturally occurs in that food is just amazing. Like, research has been done on that. It does really, really great with a swollen prostate. Pumpkin seed oil is good as well. So you can find that at a local health food store. And then zinc. Zinc's amazing. Now, there's certain types of zinc that work better than others, especially for the prostate. If you go to our store at asarx.com, that type of zinc, it's an ionic type zinc, is the better one to use. That's one of my favorites. And we've seen clinically getting the best results with that. It's the better way to go. So prostate health, remember, what is the body not getting? That's the key. Dr. Lee did some really strong research on progesterone and the swollen prostate. The book title, it's the only book he really did on that, but if you look up at Dr. Lee and progesterone, you can read on that. It's pretty amazing, the research he did, because it was years ago. He's an endocrinologist, did some research, and a lot of people really, I mean, there was no double-blind studies and all that, but a lot of people believe in the research that he did is really, really amazing. And we've used it clinically and had great results with it in a lot of our providers' locations. All right, 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website, go to asarx.com. Now, if you haven't found a local provider that is taking you by the hand and helping you, that believes the same way we do, give us a call. Our provider team can help you find someone to give you the help that you need so you can thrive in your health and not just barely make it. We want you to do well above and beyond that, for sure. Now, the Mediterranean diet, I don't know if you've heard of that. but it's kind of been hailed as one of the best diets out there. It's high fiber. It's got plenty of fatty acids in it. It's balanced, so you're getting good amounts of carbohydrates, but not too much, good amounts of proteins, and a good amount of healthy fats. But the so-called short-chain fatty acids that this diet has in it are produced by bacteria in the intestine, and it creates a fermentation process that's really good. So all these fruits and vegetables and legumes are like beans, right? So beans, lentils are one of my favorite. But these fatty acids are believed to provide a ton of health benefits. It lowers the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and most of the inflammatory diseases. So people that follow these Mediterranean diets have really great gut health. We call it the microbiome, and that's a big deal. Remember, our overall health is determined by what happens in your gut. So if you have a good microbiome and you have a good microbiome health, your overall health is typically going to be very well. Because remember that all the cells in the body start in the gut, and if the gut is healthy and produces really good benefits from the bacteria to the overall environment, you get rid of things like yeast, fungal issues, and the histamine and the inflammation, then it's going to work extremely well. And that's what you have to look at. Okay, so the Mediterranean diet, which is similar to our anti-inflammatory diet that's in my book, and if you want to get a copy of that, by the way, for free, go to myfreehealthbook.com. It's myfreehealthbook.com. We're giving our books away for free right now. You just got to pay the shipping because we want to help as many people as possible. And I'm on a mission to do that. We're on a mission to do that. And we want to help you get all the tools that you need to really be able to thrive in your health. That's the key. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website. Go to asarx.com. Coming up, more questions about your health and also some tips that you don't want to miss. We'll be right back.
Did you know that you can listen to the Asa Rx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
To find out more, visit the show online, InShapeNetwork.com.
Welcome back to the show, 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. So glad you're with us. Hey, if you haven't checked us out online, go to asarx.com. That's asarx.com. And we can help you find a provider in your area that believes the same way we do. We get questions all the time. It's like, well, how do I find someone that does what you do? And I'm like, just let us know. Our team members will stand by. They'll help you with whatever you need. Whatever you're struggling with, you don't need to be struggling. Like, your health is your greatest wealth. No one can help you take responsibility for your health but you. No one else can. So you got to step up. You got to make sure that you are taking charge of you in every way, and we'll help you get there. 888-283-7272. All right, let's go to Marina. I like that name, Marina. Hi, Marina.
I want to know, can you not eat green vegetable if you're taking curcuma? And what is the best alternative for someone that's going through Alzheimer's?
All right, so let me just tackle the first one first. So Coumadin is the drug, okay? And typically it's advised by most physicians, and really just as a standard care practice, not to eat the dark leafy greens because it impairs what Coumadin is attempting to do. So they don't want you eating a lot of these dark green vegetables because it can impair the drug. Now, the workaround on that is, and I agree with that, that's fine. It does impact, the vitamin K is really strong in those vegetables, and it does impair it. But here's the thing. I would look at any of the other green vegetables. Like, you can still have broccoli, green beans, asparagus. If you want to do salads, you can still have the spring mix type salad. You know what I mean by that? And the romaine. So you can kind of get over in that category. It's just those darker greens like the Swiss chard, the kale, and the spinach. Those are the ones you got to really be cautious with. But the other green vegetables are fine. You'll do great with those. Because green vegetables, you can't just eliminate them from your diet. You just don't want to do that. They're too beneficial and they're too healthy, and you need them too much. So I would definitely incorporate those. And check with your doctor, of course, but they're going to tell you that's okay. Surely they gave you a food list. If they didn't, just get in touch with our office, and we've got a food list for all those categories, and we can give that to you, and that'll help you quite a bit, okay? Now, the Alzheimer's deal, let's jump on that for a second. Alzheimer's and prevention, they're still trying to figure that out. Like, there's no silver bullet. But I will tell you that, remember, Alzheimer's is a condition that affects the brain, right? So you got to think neurological, and you got to think, okay, what kind of foods support the brain? What keeps it healthy? What are the better choices that you can have? And with that, you got to think protein. So chicken, fish, beef, or eggs, pea protein is one of the best. And then also, you really want to think about, in the neurological sense, all the fats. We're learning now more than ever that fats are super important for overall neurological health, for memory, for recall, for just overall stamina of the brain. You want to think about fatty acids. So omega-3, 6s, and 9s, things like avocados, nuts, seeds. Fish oil is really good. I'm a big fan of cod liver oil. It's one of my favorites because it has naturally occurring vitamin A and vitamin D in it. And that's just one of my favorites. And I mean, if you could throw everything else out and use cod liver oil, that'd be great. And then have like some canned salmon. I mean, literally, you get the fats that you need from those. But I would encourage you just to look at that. Now, the other thing, too, that's really good for Alzheimer's are the B vitamins. So there's one B vitamin. It's a vitamin B6 called pyridoxal 5-phosphate. And then also vitamin B5, which is pantothenic acid, or pantethine. It's written a couple of different ways. But those are really good. Those are very helpful when it comes to brain chemistry, memory, and anything along those lines. But Alzheimer's is something that is becoming more and more. We're seeing it more and more. Another superfood for the brain is something I eat every single day. And as soon as I learned this years ago, just to protect memory and overall brain health, I started eating them all the time. And that's eggs. So the egg yolk contains a component in it that is vital for one of our overall neurochemicals or brain chemicals, and it's called acetylcholine. Now, acetylcholine the egg yolk contains choline, but the brain chemical is acetylcholine. And you need about 900 milligrams a day of choline to support healthy levels of acetylcholine in the brain. And remember, these brain chemicals are all manufactured in the gut and then sent to the brain. So healthy gut equals healthy brain every time. So if your gut's all jacked up, then your brain's going to be all jacked up. It's just it's the only way I can put it, to just keep it in the layman's sense. But those are some good things on the Alzheimer's end. Diet, and then don't forget about exercise too. And it doesn't matter if it's walking, jogging, but getting out and doing something every single day for somebody that has or is leaning toward that condition, or you're trying to prevent it. Anything that involves you exercising is going to be a great way to go. I mean, all the research is so solid on that as well. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website. Go to asarx.com. We're here for you each and every day. If you don't have a free copy of our book, you should go to myfreehealthbook.com, myfreehealthbook.com, and you can get a copy there. All right, so cancer may be a hidden danger to the heart, they're saying. People with cancer could be suffering a silent, unseen heart damage due to the malignancy. Researchers have found that newly diagnosed cancer patients carry high blood levels of hormones and body chemicals that are normally telltale signs of heart disease. So these chemical indicators for heart disease increase the severities of a person's cancer. It's pretty interesting. So Dr. Barrick, who's the chairwoman of the American College of Cardiology's cardio-oncology, said there's a paradigm changing in the way that we look at cancer and heart disease. Like we used to look at them, she says, as two separate conditions that didn't really coexist. But now we're seeing that one can start to affect the other. Cardiologists and cancer doctors usually focus on the diseases of their chosen specialty, but now they're having to work together because of these types of findings. They said it's eye-opening. So a malignancy now that's affecting one area could, in a workaround, backdoor manner, be impacting the heart. And that's scary because they really have, in the way we've looked at it for so long, have been totally separate conditions that never really coexisted together. Like rarely do you see someone that struggles with a heart condition and also has cancer. Like that's like Extremely rare that you see that. So it's good information to know that as medical science is getting on, that we're learning that some of these can really coexist. And it just goes back to the fact that we have to look at our lifestyle choices every single day. Like, that is so important for me to drill into you here on the show. If I could teach you one thing, that would be the one thing I would want you to know, is that your lifestyle is your medicine. Like, no matter what, if you want to change the trajectory of your health and where it's going in the direction, it's going to be your choices. Like, if I know right now that I had something going on, whatever it is, then of course I know a lot of what to do, but I would seek the knowledge, like, what do I need to do to go this direction? Like, if you've had a stent in your heart, just remember that it's not just because you're getting older. Like, that's a bunch of bunk. The reason you have a stent in your heart is because the choices you made over the last 10 years that led up to that stent. And it's not just eating burgers and fries either. That gets to a place of, who have you been hanging out with? What kind of stress have you carried? What kind of emotional baggage have you walked through? What kind of pain have you not dealt with, right? So all that stuff, along with your eating habits, which may have been emotional eating, all that leads up to a heart attack or a blockage or a tumor or joint pain or depression. You see what I mean? So everything works in a decade. And I always tell that to people, like, it takes a decade of really bad things happening to develop something pretty monumental with your health. But the cool thing about that is it doesn't take a decade to undo it. You can undo things a lot faster if you get aggressive with your methods and your means. So on this show, we want to help you with that. Get my book, myfreehealthbook.com. That's myfreehealthbook.com. And we'll send you a free copy. All you got to do is, it's a hardback copy, so all you got to do is pay the shipping, and we'll send that to you. But your health is really determined by your choices, and we really want to help you bust through that every single day. Let's get over to the phones and talk to Gary. Hi, Gary.
Yes, I'm having a problem with my blood pressure, and I was wondering, what should I be doing for as I know they gave me a low sodium diet, and I want to know what type of workout should I be doing. Is it okay, for me to, lift weights or whatever? What type of exercises should I be doing? I started a little bit working on yoga, doing a little yoga and walking. And I'm just basically trying to get my blood pressure under control. That's what I need help with. Thank you.
All right, so here's the deal, man. You're doing the right kind of things with blood pressure. I'll just tell you this. It's not genetic. It's more stress and lifestyle and habits. So your exercise, it doesn't matter what you do, but just be consistent. So I would just say 5 to 6 days a week, pick something you really enjoy. Weightlifting's great. Yoga's great. Kind of mix it up. Walking is great. Jogging is great. All those are good. Just be consistent, at least 30 to 45 minutes a day, doing something that you enjoy like that. From an eating perspective, the anti-inflammatory based diet that's in my book, you go to myfreehealthbook.com. It's myfreehealthbook.com. If you get that, that's going to be a great eating plan that will support your body in the middle of any kind of health challenge, specifically with blood pressure. And then also your stress management. Don't forget that. So how well you're resting is going to be important too. Remember, if you're not sleeping very well, one of the number one deficiencies that people struggle with is magnesium. So magnesium at night before you go to bed, and the right kind, it's got to be the right kind, will help you tremendously. So look at this when you're dealing with blood pressure. And don't forget, L-arginine, citrulline, and green tea are all great. Matter of fact, there's a Nobel Peace Prize one for that research that can help.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
Connect with On Call Radio and watch On Call TV at InShapeNetwork.com.
Welcome back to the show, 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. So glad you're with us. Go to the website, asarx.com. Send me an email. I'll make it part of the show. And also join social media with us. If you haven't checked us out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of that is at Asa Rx TV. So we'd love to have you join us in every way. Plus, our podcast is out every single day. If you don't listen to the podcast, you are missing out. Go to the podcast, any platform. It's called Asa Rx Experience. You can go to any platform. You go to Pandora. You can go to iHeart. You can go to Apple, iTunes, whatever. Wherever you go get your podcast, go check it out. And if you're not into the podcast thing, you're just into this radio thing, that's good. But you should still go check it out. You can download it, subscribe to it, whatever. It's pretty cool. It's a shortened version of what we do here every single day, and it's bite-sized. You can carry it with you on demand when you want it. So I encourage you to check out the podcast. And also, I got to say it because we get so many requests about it. If you want someone in your area, a provider that does what we do, and you really need the help, and you want someone to coach you and take you by the hand, just get in touch with our provider team. Our providers, go to the website, asarx.com. That's asarx.com, and we can help you no matter what you need to get the help that you need to get to the next level in your life. All right, let's get on the phones and go to Hank. Hank, what can I do to help?
Hey, my question is, why do some men muscles have more definition than other men's muscles? And I work out with free weights 4 to 5 times a week, and the definition just doesn't seem to be there. Is there any supplements or any kind of special kind of food that I could eat that would help with this situation? Thank you.
One of the things you got to look at, Hank, it's funny. I mean, I could just say some guys work harder than others. Some people work harder than others. But it's not just a matter of hard work. I mean, hard work does pay off, no doubt about it. You can't just go work out 2 days a week and think you're going to be jacked and ripped like the guy that works out 6 days a week. But there's so many factors. I mean, it has to do with recovery, and it has to do with how you eat and the amount of protein that you take in, the fats that you take in, the carbohydrates that you take in. It is not just as simple as eat more protein and exercise with weights. Like, if it was that simple, we would not have a whole industry based around that. Like, it is extremely detailed, and the guys, including myself, physicians and PhDs out there in nutrition that train athletes, that put programs together for elite athletes, it takes so much knowledge on how to do that. It is a science in a major way. So I would encourage you to get with someone like one of our providers to get you on whatever program you want to work for your body type, because you got to take in your age, you got to take in your body type, how you process nutrients. You've got to look at all of that. And so everybody's body is different. It's not just a one size fits all. And if you do this, you're going to get jacked like this. You're going to have ripped abs. You're going to have pecs. You're going to have biceps. It doesn't work like that. Like, you have to dial in. But I will tell you this: if you'll do resistance exercise 5 days a week, that's one good step. If you will take what I call the protein rule and use that for yourself, which is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 180 pounds, you eat 180 grams of protein every single day. That is a good standard for building the right amount of muscle, because you do have to have a certain amount of protein to build good muscle tissue. Like that, we know that for a fact. And that's across the board. So the protein rule applies. Number 3, I would say, is get your fats in. This is where I think we miss it, because our hormones are dependent heavily on fats. Now, these are the good fats: omega-3, 6s, and 9s. You want about 33% omega-3 fats, 33% monounsaturated fats, and those are the kind of fats that are in like olive oil, olives, avocados, nuts. A lot of the nuts and seeds have these monounsaturated fats. So about 33% of that. And believe it or not, about 33% of saturated fat. And I know everybody says saturated fat's bad and it's going to clog your arteries and cause heart attacks. It's just not true. I mean, saturated fats are good for you, and it works together with the other kinds of fats. Now, you can mess with those ratios a little bit. You could do like 40, 40, 20. If you get scared of the saturated fat, whatever. But bottom line is, you've got to have some saturated fat to work with the other fats. They all work together. Matter of fact, it's been studied that omega-3 fats don't even work that well in the body if there's not a certain level of saturated fat coming in from the diet. So those are things. I tell you all that because the fats are really important, and good, healthy fat levels support healthy hormone function and the right level of cholesterol. So all of that goes hand in hand. So the good rule of thumb is, for your fats, is you want to do 0.5 times your body weight, and that will give you the fat grams. And so you just do the math. All you got to do is do the math. So you do the math, and then you'll get the exact amount of grams. But your protein grams are number 1. Your fat grams are number 2. Like, get those 2 down. And then the carbohydrates can vary. Now, you don't want to go too low. This low carbohydrate thing I'm not really into. but you also don't want to go too high. A good rule of thumb for carbohydrates, if you're just on average, is about 1 gram as well. So you can start there. If you feel like you're not getting enough energy, you can increase your carbohydrates. But these are good carbs, right? These are carbs that are coming from the right kind of carbohydrates, what I call slow carbs. So things like beans and sweet potatoes and brown rice and gluten-free bread, or you want to use some of those grains like that, you can. But it's vegetables and these fruits, right? Like all these foods that are just natural, whole food-based carbohydrates that the blood sugar, what we call, moves a lot slower, so it doesn't go up and down and have that big curve that throws your blood sugar all over the place. So that's the kind of thing you want to look at when it comes to building muscle. Your diet is going to be number one, the frequency of how you weight train number two, and then, of course, keeping hydrated, that's another big one. Don't worry about all the supplements and all that right now. That's secondary, very secondary. You got to get your training right, got to get your eating right, and then the other thing I would say is get your sleep right. You have to rest at least 7, I would say about 6 to 8 hours is a good number, but it's got to be good, deep, restorative sleep. That's what it has to be. To really make a difference and impact, it's got to be good, solid sleep. And that, if you stay with that and those little principles, you're at least going to be on the right path. But for what you want to build really good, dense muscle, and depending on your age, you're going to have a coach really coach you and walk you through that process. Like, you don't want to do that on your own. That needs to be something that you have somebody taking you by the hand and walking with you, okay? Thanks so much for the call. Puts another hour in the charts. I want to thank our producer, Lyle Valentine, also Derek Allen, John Garrison, and the rest of the team. Go tell one person something you learned here on the show. Together, we can transform the health of our friends, our families, and our communities. You're listening to the Asa Rx Experience, where we're helping you become the best version of you.
Did you know you could listen to the Asa Rx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
This episode is over, but check episode notes for links to products and services you've heard about on this episode. Thanks for listening and subscribing. Please share the Asa Rx audio experience with others and stay in touch by giving us your comment or review.